Hello, I'm Jagan from Grow with Data. Welcome to the Crack SQL Interview in 50 question series. In this video series, we'll practice 50 SQL questions across various topics. You can use the playlist Crack SQL Interview in 50 questions to follow the videos related to this series. For each video in the series, you can find the related code on my GitHub. Feel free to explore the code and provide any feedback in the comment section. Now let's dive into the 46th video of the series, which is related to the topic advanced string functions. Let's see the data and we can talk about the question in detail. So we are given the person table. Let's create the table. So this person table got the person ID and the email. So due to some process issue, the table got duplicate emails inserted into the table. So we are asked for a solution to delete all duplicate emails, keeping only the unique email with the smallest ID. So given that scenario, if you check John, we got two emails, 1 and 3. So you keep the smallest one and delete the ID 3. And for Bob, it's only one record. So you don't have to delete anything. For this one is deleted. And Randy, we got 4, 5, 6, and 7. So the smallest one is 4. So 5, 6, 7 has to be deleted. And the Bob again. So we need to bring in the ID 1, 2, and 4. So those are three IDs we have to bring in. So if they ask you to get the duplicate email, so what are all the duplicate emails? Then you can simply say select the email from person group by the email having count star greater than 1. So if I do this, I'll get the duplicates. So John is having duplicate, Randy is having duplicate. I get these emails. So if I use this and simply say delete from person where email in, if I do a subquery, the first thing is this will give you an error. Okay, so it will say you can't specify the target table person for update in from class. That means you can't directly use the person in the subquery, the from class. So what you have to do, you have to create another layer. Select email from, and then you bring in the main query, give the alias name. If you don't give the alias name, again it will say you will bring alias name. If I run this, it will delete 6 rows. So we are supposed to delete 4, but 6 rows got deleted. If you go and check the table, select star from person, it will delete all the records of John and Randy because you are getting the duplicate emails and you are saying delete from the table. So it deletes all the records in John and Randy. So that is not what you are required. So we have to delete the duplicates by keeping the smallest ID of that email address. So this is not going to work. So how will I fix it? Let's first insert the record again. Okay. So now, if I check the table, I got all the 7 records. So instead of blindly getting the email and deleting it, I'm going to use a self join. So I can just say select from person, which you can see the duplicate records, inner join the person, which is the primary, on the primary dot email equal to the duplicate dot email, and the duplicate dot id should be greater than the prime dot id. So this is what we need. The email should be same, but the id should be greater than the primary. So this is going to create duplicate records, but still let's see what it happens. Duplicate dot id, duplicate dot email. So if I run this, it will give me the IDs, like the order by the ID. So it will give me the IDs which are all duplicated, right? Got John and Randy. If you see this, ID 1 is not available, ID 2 is not available, ID 4 is not available. It's only 3, 5, 6, and 7. If I say distinct, then it will give me all the duplicates 3, 5, 6, and 7. So this will be a better option for me. So I can use this as a subquery and I'll say delete from the person where the ID in, I can simply say select distinct ID from this, right? So here, I don't want the order by, I don't want the name. So here the first thing is we can't directly do it. So we just say select ID from, so we put another layer to it and then we get the second level of data, right? And then I am bringing it here. So the main part is the inner join is not working in this query. So here, this is for the main subquery. We say A and then you can just bring it here. And if I run this, it's giving some syntax error. So, oh, 4 rows affected. Okay, it's working. That's great. Okay. So, in some database, the inner join won't work. So, you have to normally go for the normal join, like comma and where kind of thing. Let's see how the table looks now. Select star from the person. So if you see this, I got 1, 2, and 4, right? So I got 1, 2, and 4, which is what is required. So some database might not like the inner join in the delete statement. I don't know the reason why. It might be because of the version they have. So what you have to do is you can simply say comma and where. So if that is the case, it should work, right? So we can just insert the data again, and then we can try the delete, and then we select. Let's see. So again, you get the same result. So you can use the inner join if your database works, it accepts the inner join. If not, you can use the normal join. Okay. So this is the self join. So we normally use a Cartesian product when you are trying to manipulate the same table, right? So let's see how to do the Cartesian part. Okay, so let's insert the data again because we are deleting it every time. Okay, now you got all the 7 records. Okay, now we have to go for the correlated subquery, right? Okay, so that's a approach 2. Correlated subquery. So what's the correlated subquery? The subquery should trigger every time for every record in the upper query, right? Okay, let's try that. Select from person. We can first go with the subquery, okay? So select pp.id from the person table where the email pp.email equal to, you can try one email, Randy's email, okay, equal to randy@example.com. Some of the comment is not closed. Let's close this. Okay. So the pp.email equal to something and pp.id should be less than or equal to, you can just say 2, right? So 1, we have to keep it like that. So if we say 2, pp.id less than or equal to 2 should bring, okay, let me see if I have the data here. Yeah, 4, 5, 6, and 7 is the one. Oh, okay. And the pp.id is this, right? 4567. So it should be less than or equal to, we say 5. It will bring me 4 and 5. So what is the count? It's going to be 2. If I say 6, it's going to be 3, 4, 5, and 6. So for every email, if I go with the ID, it will just give me how many emails I have. If I go with 4 for Randy, it's only one record, right? So if I say count of this ppid as count, then it will just give me how many emails I have based on which email and what is the ID, which is less than or equal to every sequence. So I'm going to use these two parameters from the main table. Okay, so how to do that? Let's go with select from the person, which is the main table, where the count should not be 1, right? So 1 means it's only one record, which is the smallest one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a condition which says where the number should be greater than 1, right? It should be 2 or 3 or 4, right? So that's what it should be. So I'll just say give me the count where the pp.email equal to the main table p.email, and the ID should be p.id. So if I run p.id and p.email, if I run this, I'll get 3, 5, 6, and 7, which are all the duplicate ones. So I get the 3, 5, 6, and 7, because when it goes for 3 for John, the email account is going to be 2. For 5, 6, and 7, the email is going to be 2, 3, and 4. So nothing is going to be at 1. So this 1 is what makes the main justification that this is the smallest one, this is the duplicate one, and all that, right? So this is the correlated subquery. I'm going to use this in my delete statement. How to use that? So I just say delete from the person where the ID in, I just say select the ID from this, whichever is a 3, 5, 6, and 7, right? And then give alias name, and then I close it. So if I run this, I'm getting a error. Just say syntax manual thing. Okay, so delete from the person where ID in, select ID from the person where it's going to be select count of this. So this is going to be, okay, I don't have to have this. So this bracket is going to cover this, and then the other bracket is going to cover this. Okay. So where 1 less than select count star or count this from pp, where pp.email equal to p.email and pp.id. So somewhere I'm missing. So this bracket getting closed here. Select distinct PPI. Okay, maybe we are using the person table, right? The previous restriction. Let's see. Select ID from this table, I can say. So we can close it here and we try it. So it runs. So the restriction part, right? We can't use the person table directly in the subquery. We need to have another layer for it. So we just use the select ID. So if you want to format it to understand much better, then you can just say this is going to be the upper layer for the syntax process, and then this is going to be the correlated subquery we just talked about, right? And this is going to be the correlated subquery which triggers for every value in the upper query. Okay? So this is our key correlated subquery, and then we use this for the syntax process where we can't use the person table directly. So at this level, we are going to delete using the correlated subquery part. So now if we check select start from person, we get 1, 2, and 4. The duplicates are deleted. Okay. Now there is a direct way of doing it. So let's create the table again. Okay, we insert the records. Now I'm going to directly use this. How to directly use it? I'll just say select min of ID. What will this bring? From the person group by the email. So if I run this for every email, right? So I can bring in the email here, email group by email. So for every email, it will have the minimum of ID, right? So I can simply use this rather than going for subquery or correlated subqueries, right? So I can use this query, minimum of ID for every email. I'll get 1, 2, and 4. I'm going to use this for my query. I just say delete from person where the ID not in, don't get me the IDs which is the minimum one for every email. So other than that, you get all the IDs which I'm going to delete. Again, it's going to be the constraint which I say select ID from, I'll just say A. So it will delete 0 rows affected. Okay, let's see what has happened. Let's comment this out. Oops. Select star from person. We still have it. That means the delete statement was not executed properly. So you say delete from person where ID not in, select ID from this. So if you don't have the ID, then it has to delete, right? So are you missing anything? Delete from person where ID not in, just say select ID from, select minimum of ID group by email. A. Okay, it should work. Interesting. So this, okay, ID is not working, star is working. That's surprising one. I don't know the reason for it, but when I say select ID, it was not catching up. So if I say select star from person, all the duplicates got deleted. So there might be some syntax error which I miss here, but if I say select star, it will just going to bring me the, oh, okay, because it don't have an alias name, right? So min ID as ID, right? If I don't give the alias name, then the upper query don't fetch the ID. So that's why it's showing the error as ID. So let's insert the records. So let's truncate and insert. Now I have 7 records, right? So now I'm going here and I'm going to simply say, get me the IDs. So minimum of ID as ID, and then I will just say ID from the subquery, and I'm deleting it. So 4 rows affected. So now if I go and check the person table, it's going to have only the 3 rows. So the first thing we make mistake is we have to put the alias name, because the min ID is the going to be the column name, and then we are looking for ID in the subquery, which is going to return null, right? So that's why the delete was not working before, and we fixed it. Okay, so we did few examples, right? First one is we just use a subquery and then we deleted the records. Second one, we use a correlated subquery and we deleted it. Third one, we simply use a minimum function like subquery one using a minimum of ID and we just deleted it. The final part, what we're going to do is we are going to use the Windows function, our favorite one. Let's insert the data again. Okay, we have 7 records now. Now we can do the Windows function. So how will you do the Windows function? Select ID, comma, email from person. This will give me all the 7 records. Now I'm going to say row number over partition by every email I'm going to duplicate, right? Partition by email, order by email, comma, ID. Since it's going to be ascending order, the first email ID is going to be the first row number. So if I run this, for every ID and email, I have a row number. For Bob, I have only 1 record. For John, ID 1 got row number 1 and then 2. For Randy, ID 4 got 1 and then we got this. Now, to get all the IDs from this, we just say select ID from the subquery where the row number equal to 1. So if I alias name, oops, okay. So if I give the row number equal to 1, I get only the distinct part of it. So if I want to use this, I will just say delete from the person where ID not in select ID from that subquery, right? So since I use only rnum equal to 1, I am saying it should not be okay a B. That's a B. So if I say the row number equal to 1, it get only the smaller ID for every email. So I should say ID not in this list. If I don't want to say 1, if I say greater than 1, that means the ID should be in the list. So that is the main criteria. So it's showing some error in line 2. Okay, so delete from person where ID not in, you select ID, not if. So now the 4 rows got affected. As I said, if it's going to be greater than 1, then you have to say ID in. So however you prefer. Okay. So if you want to see all this code, then you go to the Grow with Data YouTube channel. This is going to be in the Crack SQL Interview 50 questions playlist. If you want to see the Tamil version of it, you have Tamil Crack SQL Interview 50 questions. If you go into the playlist, you have the description part where you have the GitHub link. If you go in the link, it's the 46th video. You have the create statement and you have the comments of the delete statements we used. And there is one more example. What happens if the email ID is not in the same format? For example, you say the email ID is going to be like this. So it's going to be John and the capital J, Randy is going to be different formats, but all are same, right? If that is the case, it based on the database. MySQL is not case sensitive. So we can just keep this row number part aside. We can try the, which one we try? We can try the correlated subquery. Okay. We try the correlated subquery part. Okay. We just insert this and we delete it. Oh, I haven't put the comma yet. Okay. So if I run this, the 4 rows got affected because MySQL is not case sensitive. So it's not going to make any change. But if we use something like Postgres, right? If you want to try something like Postgres, okay, we just create this table and then we run it. Let's go comment this out. Oh, okay. If I go back the table, okay, which one we tried? This correlated subquery, right? Okay. Now we go to Postgres, we create the table, and now we are going to say select star from person. It will give me all the 7 records with different syntax. Now if I do the delete part, and then we are going to see what happens. Select star from person. You still have these records because the email ID are unique when you consider the case sensitivity. Randy is all small. This is R is caps. This everything is caps. Here I is small. So the duplicate is not exist if you say the email is case sensitive. For example, you say select email count star from this group by 1 email. So this will just bring all the count as 1 because it's all unique, right? So when I delete, it will just say everything is unique, you don't delete. So to fix this, if the database is case sensitive, so when you compare the email, better you can say lower case of the email is compared with the lower case of email, right? So you make sure the case sensitivity has been addressed. Now if you run it, you just finish update, deleting the duplicates. Let's see. Select star from person. It will clear the duplicates. So if it's a case sensitivity, you have to know how to address those. Okay. MySQL is not case sensitive, so it should be fine. But provided if you are using other database which is case sensitive, then you may make sure you address those database. So what we did, first we did a normal subquery, self join. Second, we tried the correlated subquery, and third, we tried a simple subquery with a minimum of ID for every email, and the last one we tried with the Windows function. And then we talked about if it's a case sensitivity, how to do that. And if you want to see the code, go to the GitHub and you can find the code. And then if you want to join the WhatsApp channel, there's a WhatsApp channel link here. You can use this and join the Grow with Data WhatsApp channel. Hope you like this video and thanks for watching.